everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Clarepoint podcast with me, Randy Prizzle. How you guys all doing out there? Everything good, Sway, crispy, irie? Anyways, let's get on to the podcast episode of today, episode 21. Now, I'm not in the best of moods, obviously, because this team right here won't let me down yesterday, you know what I mean? But we're going to touch more on that. If you obviously haven't seen the first episode of Ask and I Shall Deliver, it's available. I talk about this team right here and I pull them all out in all great details and that. But I still got more to say, so it will be coming. There will be a lot more coming and I'll be saying a lot more. But let's get on to the podcast episode of today. There's a lot to get through, so let's get on to the random questions as usual. What country sounds interesting to you, but you know very little about it? Now, obviously, places like South America, I would probably say my homeboy country's Bloomer is Colombia. I've never been there before, but it seems like an interesting country. It really does. I don't know too much about it, you know what I mean, even though he's one of my brethren and he should probably tell me a lot, but, you know, we don't, I guess, communicate a lot like that, where I know a lot of his culture and his background is probably bad of me. Yes, probably makes me a bad friend or whatever, but it's one of those places I'd like to visit. Anywhere in South America, I don't really know much of the culture there. I mean, I want to go to a place, obviously, where I feel someone like me, my colour, would be appreciated and not be looked down upon or be discriminated against. So that's general the facts there. But yeah, going to somewhere that's going to be nice. The gal them are looking right to you, right? But anyways, yeah. So yeah, South America countries, but most probably I'd say Colombia. Next one. What do you find you recently spend a lot of time wondering about? I think generally if what I'm doing here has purpose and has meaning, you know what I mean? I think constantly doing this, when you don't really see the views probably as high as you'd probably have maybe thought or would have liked them to have been, it could be slightly disheartening, but I've tried to tell myself that it's a long game here. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes that there may be a possibility I wouldn't reach targets, but the most important thing is to enjoy the ride that I'm on right now. And I think that's kind of what I'm trying to tell myself, just to enjoy the ride, because this is a ride. Yeah, I'm 38 and I'm still doing stuff like this. Usually you do stuff like this in your 20s and stuff like that, but I'm in my late 30s and a lot of people probably wouldn't really understand or really resonate with me. You tend to wonder about them things sometimes, but I've tried to tell myself just to enjoy the journey, enjoy, you know, putting content out here for you guys. Just enjoy it, you know what I mean? Because I don't know how long it's going to last. So that's what I'd say in any stretch of imagination. So yeah, enjoy it. I'm trying to just tell myself that as much as possible and not think about what ifs and what I can't control. So yeah, that. Next one. What do you see happening in your future? And that's just going too deep and too into anything. I don't know, to be honest. I'm more of like a step by step kind of guy. You know what I mean? Once I see one step, then I'll take the one step, then I'll take another step, then I'll take another step. I'm kind of like a let's see how it goes kind of person. But I will take some chances and I will take some risks and see how it goes. Do you know what I mean? If it doesn't work, then I tried it. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of one of them things. So I don't really say I'd have a plan, you know, in motion in what's going to happen in the future. I have no idea. I could end up with a wife. I don't know. I could end up with a girlfriend. I don't know. I could end up just roaming around town and meeting different people. You know what I mean? Meeting different women and having a blast, you could say. I don't know. But it's one of them things. So it's, I don't know what came doing. So, you know, you just kind of take it day by day and see how it comes. So it's one of them things, really. So, What is something that you would really like to try again? First you don't succeed, but yourself off and try again. What I would like to try again. Oh, the Bath Carol. That was in Paris. Now, if you guys don't know, I took a recent trip to Paris. It was about a week ago. So I am trying to put some sort of slideshow and montage together that I will be putting on YouTube. I don't know when on my channel, um, but hopefully in the next coming weeks I would have rounded all the photos up, all the videos up I've got, and just have some commentary to go with it, and just basically put it out there to show you guys what I had. And the Bavka roll was a particular part of what I really enjoyed. So, you know what I mean? I really would like to try that again. You know what I mean? They unfortunately don't have the restaurant that was in Paris here. If they did have it here, I'd be the first to go there, because that roll was sensational. Do you know what I mean? And it was a vegan restaurant too. Do you know what I mean? Bakery, so in a restaurant. But that's what generally was going through my mind. You know what I mean? I think when I've left there, come home now, and I've had time to think about it, it's generally that comes to mind. Do you know, I tasted nothing like it. Do you know what I mean? It was like a Swiss roll, and or cinnamon roll, I should say, and you had nuts in there, and you had this chocolate that was so smooth going through it. The taste altogether was just incredible, incredible. Do you know what I mean? So that's the one thing I'm thinking about right now. So yeah, we'll come on to the next one. What line from a song has had the biggest impact on you? Mm, express yourself. NWA. I think that's generally what comes to mind. I think just keep expressing yourself, keep putting yourself out there, showing people what you can do, what you're about. So yeah, express yourself. Next one. What's the best compliment you ever received? Um, I think someone admired my work one time. This was when I was in college. I remember I did like a sort of thing, and the person kind of admired what I did, and they wanted a copy of it, and happily gave the person a copy of it. People said, well, why did you do that? It's a bit stupid, you know what I mean? You just didn't copyright your work, but you gave it to that person. That person probably went off and then maybe made some money out of your design. But it was like a house sort of thing I did, and then I put like a little swirl inside the house, and it was kind of disjointed colors and everything, kind of like a madhouse or setting sort of thing. I did it. Um, I did it on Photoshop. Big up Photoshop. You know, what I mean, that time Photoshop was available and it was cheap and it was easy to get. Nowadays, it's ridiculously priced. I don't really have time for that. Allow it. So you know what I mean. Um, and I created something that I didn't really think it was great, but that person really liked it. So I said, hey, well, here you go. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those things, really. It was kind of like an appreciation from someone else that I didn't know. So it wasn't, I'd say, the biggest, but it was the nicest. Do you know what I mean? Um, I think I've had some nice comments on here as well. Do you know what I mean? Some people said, you know what I mean, we like what you're doing and stuff. I think one person recently said on one of my videos, you know what I mean, this is funny, it's entertaining, you know what I mean, just keep going, and little things like that. It's nice to get some appreciation from time to time. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Next one. What's your favorite room in your house and why? Oh, it's definitely my bedroom. Do you know what I mean? We're currently in there right now. I'm not going to show you around. As I said, I'm a bit of a hoarder. Do you know what I mean? So I can't really show you all the hoarding I've got around. Do you know what I mean? But it's relatively tidy. You can walk through. It's just obviously there's clothes in certain places and that. You know what I mean? You could say messy if you want to say messy, but I'd say controlled chaos. That's what I'm saying. The floorway's clean and everything. It's all clean. You know what I mean? It's just I have a lot of clothes. Do you know what I mean? For a man in particular, but it is what it is. So yeah. Um, Next one. Is there a personality trait that you would like to adopt from one of your friends? Uh, I don't know. Um, Probably just being a lot more outgoing, maybe. Um, my friend John tends to be a lot more outgoing. Be up to him. He obviously goes out and about a lot more times than I'd say I do. So just probably be a lot more outgoing, a lot more around people. So I generally don't really, let's say, put myself about around people a lot. So yeah, what he kind of does. Do you know what I mean? So big up John. But that's it. And that's it. We've come to the end of that. So that's the random questions. Well, let's move on to talk some of the shows that I've recently watched. So obviously, I recently watched the movie Atlas. People don't know that was starring Jennifer Lopez. So Jennifer Lopez starred in this film. I hadn't really seen this film before, but I've kind of heard people were saying it probably wasn't great and that, so I said, well, let me check it out for myself and find out what it's all about. It wasn't really a bad film, you know. I mean, if you're into like AI, CGI, kind of like say sci-fi sort of films, this is generally kind of one of those films for you. You would enjoy it, you'd like it, you'd appreciate it a lot more. Jennifer Lopez did what she did. I did think sometimes her acting in certain parts, especially when she was probably in a bit of pain, was a bit cringe at times. I think she was over trying to sell it. Didn't really seem as authentic, you know, when she was trying to portray when she was angry or a bit, let's say, hurt or in pain. It just felt like it was a bit over forced, you know what I mean? And I think Jennifer Lopez is, you know, I mean, she does what she does, you know. She's obviously doing the acting thing and she does the music thing as well. I think her strongest point definitely is her acting than her music, but she's someone, right, that when she gets it right on the acting front, she can get it right. I don't think this period of time was her strongest, let's say, acting role and her acting performance, but it wasn't a bad movie. It was very, I would say, average-ish around that period of time, you know what I mean? If you don't know the synopsis, let me run through the synopsis. Basically, her mum, Jennifer Lopez's mum, was kind of the person responsible for creating these AI robots, sorry, that eventually take over the world like Pinky in the Brain. But they want to eradicate human being because they've seen the human ways of life and they don't like how humans suddenly, let's say, don't have control in terms of their nature of wanting to, you know, go forth and beyond and, let's say, be terrorists. Do you know what I mean? Certain human beings and that. So I think obviously the AI wanted to correct that in terms of where they wanted to destroy what was going on in terms of the dynamics that was happening in the world of today. You know, they weren't happy with what they're seeing, so they wanted to destroy that and recreate it back in a kind of like Thanos and the snap and that. They wanted to change humans' way of life and how humans were going about doing certain things that they felt was bad or very you know, I mean, wanting and wearing. So they wanted to recreate it back in this. Kind of like you could say Ultron, you know, Age of Ultron, Avengers, that sort of thing. Kind of in a similar boat. So I probably explained the synopsis too much. Yeah, I went rambling on like a rabbit, but it is what it is. I tried to explain it. As I said, brain, it can do this, and then it's Kylie Minogue stuff. Can't get you out of my head, you know. But it's okay. The film was an okay film. You know, I think long periods of time it felt a bit dragged on, but it was an okay film. It was, as I said, Jennifer Lopez's acting role, very questionable. It wasn't her strongest acting role, I'm going to be honest there. She usually is good at those kind of romantic comedy sort of things. If you watch one of them ones, you know Jennifer Lopez kind of shines a lot more in them roles than anything action-packed. I mean, apart from, I think, was it, what was the film she did with, was it Tommy Lee Jones? One of these guys she did that was quite decent. I think it's out of something. I can't remember it. It's not coming to me at this point in time. But this wasn't really what she excelled in. So for me, on those fronts, I would give Atlas. I'd give it about a 6, to be honest. I give it a 6. It was all right, but it's, not much to it. Dragged on a bit too long. And yeah, just the storyline, that there wasn't really much grasping on the storyline. So that's why I get to 6 from me. Oh, we're moving to the next one. Waffled on with that one too long, didn't I? Let's get on to Red One. Okay, Red One, it's filmed with The Rock, filmed with Chris Pratt. Is it Chris Pratt? No. It's not Chris Pratt. Bro, the guy who played Captain America, man. You know what I mean? His name's not coming to mind. You know his name. You know what I mean? I don't need to say his name. It's not coming to mind at this point in time. But was okay. Was all right. You know what I mean? Lucy Liu is in it too. Big up to her. Haven't seen her in a while. It was nice to see Lucy Liu. But it's just one of those ones. Action-packed film. It was decent. You know what I mean? Nothing substantial if you're looking for like one of these. But it's a holiday kind of action-packed film. And listen, for the holiday, action-packed, Christmas settings movie, it did a just sort of job. So, what more can you say there? What more can I say? I think it was obviously better than Atlas, so I give it about 7. 7.2 for Red One. But it just wasn't something that reached peaks and reached mountains and went over the top. So, 7.2. All right, next one, Fargo. Now, I just recently got into watching Fargo season 1. I started watching it when I went to Paris, actually enough, and it was one of those days, one of those nights, and I was just like, I want to watch something, and I just saw it, and I went, cool, let's just watch Fargo. So I watched Fargo season 1, and listen, the shock value was there. It was crazy. Do you know what I mean? If you want the synopsis, let me give you the synopsis on Fargo. You could say one of them kind of dramatic thriller type of TV series is, where you have this kind of guy who comes into town, tries to solve one of these guys' problems, Lester Nygaard, he tries to solve his problem, and then ends up going on a rampage, killing spree, you know what I mean, helping him with his dilemma. And yeah, it just goes crazy from then on. Insane madness, all of that happens, do you know what I mean? In a small town, you know what I mean? In Minnesota, I believe it is. So yeah, so it's insane, crazy, thoroughly enjoyable, gripping, edge of the seat stuff. So I definitely would say it's well worth a watch for the people who like thriller, drama, action. It's right up your alley, you know what I mean, if you've never seen Fargo before. So season 1, brilliant, you know what I mean? Obviously, jumping on to season 2 very soon. I want to give it a bit of break, time to digest in the mind and that, and then come back onto that. So I'd give it an 8.8. I think it was really good, really good series. So thoroughly enjoyable. All right, cool, and that's it. But that's it, guys, from the random questions, Atlas, Red One, Fargo. You can put your comments below on that one. Keep them to yourself. That we're going to move on to the FA Cup reaction. I even forgot to change my glasses, but it is what it is. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Tired minds and all that. So you get to see my eyes for the first time on, this podcast. But anyways, the second time, whatever. Let's get on to the FA Cup reactions and the reactions to the FA Cup. So I've got still so much to talk about that one, don't I? Still got much to talk about that one. Alright, let's run through what the third round was and get into that. So, third round, the FA Cup. Sheffield United 0, Cardiff City 1. Fulham 4, Watford 1. Everton 2, Peterborough 0. Wigan 2, Portsmouth 0. Aston Villa 2, West Ham 1. Bristol City 1, Wolves 2. Middlesbrough 0, Blackburn Rovers 1. Birmingham 2, Lincoln City 1. Liverpool 4, Accrington Stanley 0. Leicester City 6, QPR 2. Nottingham Forest 2, Luton Town 0. Brentford 0, Plymouth Argyle 1. Chelsea 5, Morecambe 0. Bournemouth 5, West Brom 1. Norwich City 0, Brighton 4. Reading 1, Burnley 3. Exeter City 3, Oxford United 1. Sunderland 1, Stoke City 2. Leeds United 1, Haringey Town 0. Man City 8, Salford City 0. So, there's more still. We're not done. I thought it was over, but there's still more. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, but Coventry City qualifier go through. Penalty shootouts 4-3. Hull City 1, Doncaster 1, but on extra time, penalty shootouts, Doncaster City go through. 5-4 on penalties. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 3. Newcastle 3, Bromley 1. Ipswich Town 3, Bristol Rovers 0. Arsenal 1, Man United 1. Arsenal go out, Man United go through. Penalty shootouts 5-3. Crystal Palace 1, Stockport United 0. Southampton 3, Swansea 0. Today, Millwall versus Dagenham and Redbridge, 7:30. Time currently is 5:35. Recording this podcast. So, I'm going to go for a Millwall win, a 3-1 Millwall. They got obviously some more on tomorrow as well, so let's just try and predict those ones quickly. Leyton Orient and Derby County, it's on tomorrow at 7:45. I'm going to go for Leyton Orient, a 2-1 win. Mansfield Town, Wigan Athletic. I've heard more of Wigan, so I'll just go with Wigan, I guess. A tight one, maybe extra time winner, 2-1. Preston, Charlton, 3-2 Preston. Looks like it could be one of them games that probably goes all out for. So yeah. Right, let's touch on some of the FA Cup results. There's a lot there, so we'll just get on to some of the big ones. You could say Fulham 4-1 against Watford. Big result for Fulham, and they go through. Emphatic result for them. Aston Villa beating West Ham 2-1. Controversial decision there, but Aston Villa end up going through. Wolves beating Bristol City is a good result for Wolves. They go through, especially away from home. Go through to the next round, the FA Cup. Liverpool beating Stanley 4-0. Standard result. We probably saw this coming, didn't we? Leicester though, 6-2 against QPR. It's a crazy result that, 8 goals a pair. So big up to Leicester. It's a good result for them. They're qualifying through, you know what I mean? Nottingham Forest beating Luton Town 2-0. Chelsea 5-0 against Morecambe. Standards as usual. We expected to see that happening. No disrespect to Morecambe, but Chelsea obviously in a bigger league. Bournemouth 5-1 against West Brom. Crazy result for Bournemouth. Good one for them. Emphatic result, beating West Brom 5-1. Brighton going away from home and beating Norwich City is a good result for them as well. Burnley 3-1 against Reading. Man City 8-0 at Salford. But we expected to see this happen. It's a good day out for Salford. It's a local derby, isn't it? Manchester derby. But, Man City obviously too much firepower, too much star power, and too much great players, and eased past Salford City. Blistering pace in that. Tottenham 3-0. They had to go to extra time to win it, but they beat Tamworth 3-0. It's a good result. Good day out for Tamworth as well. It's unfortunate they couldn't, let's say take them to penalty shootouts, but on the day, congrats to them for putting up a fight in the show. Newcastle 3-1 against Bromley. And yeah, well, let's just touch on this Arsenal game. I've already said enough, as much as I could say on the show that I did Ask and I Shall Deliver, which is the new show that I've brought out yesterday, so you can check that out. It's available on the channel. I'm just going to briefly talk about the things that I probably forgot to talk about. We don't seem to win in these white kits. We really don't. Listen, I hear the calls, I respect the calls, but we don't seem to be winning these white kits, and it's cause for concern. I don't really believe in all this superstition stuff, but I'm starting to get very superstitious about it. Very superstitious. So yeah, um, but it was a shit show, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it on here like I did obviously on the first episode. I wanted to ease people into it in the first episode. You don't want to go out with all guns blazing and that, but absolute shit show. Pathetic. And I think Mikel Arteta is on some real thin ice. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I don't want to see him go because obviously what he's done and how he's transcended and transformed the club. But there needs to be a line drawn. You know what I mean? And the excuses that I've seen have been made about balls, about flipping that the Carling Cup is considered a major trophy and all this. That to me is criminal behaviour. Do you know what I mean? It's criminal behaviour. The result yesterday wasn't really a surprise to me, but considering they went down to 10 men, which I continuously say it wasn't a sending off. I don't think it really was. I don't think the penalty even was a penalty. So it's one of them things that we got fortunate. Before the sending off, nothing was happening. Nothing. They just sat there and we weren't breaking them down. We kept trying to do this tick-tacker thing. When we were near the box, instead of taking a shot, we were trying to pass again. It was frustrating to watch. It was absolutely frustrating. It pissed me off. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're in that box, you take a shot. When you're near that box, you take a shot. And these guys had no bottle, had no gall to take a shot and try to score a goal. Yeah, I mean, Kai Havertz. I mean, what's not been said on the internet already? I knew it when we signed this guy, that this guy was not good enough. Do you know what I mean? So that's just where I'm just going to draw the line in. Yeah, he missed about 3 opportunities. Cool. Odegaard missed a penalty. You know what I mean? Like, Declan Rice missed some chances. Trossard, I think, missed some chances as well. You know, there was a chance that Trossard could have easily tapped in. If he was first to that ball ahead of De Ligt, he would have scored. Where is the desire? Now we're out of the FA Cup, and what's left to say now? Oh, wow. Well, we still have flipping, the Carabao Cup. We're going to get plastered. We're not winning that game. And if people think we're winning that game, you're delusional. And if we end up winning that game, then what's next? We're going to come against flipping, who is it in the final? Liverpool or even Tottenham. But I think Liverpool would beat Tottenham. And we're going to get absolutely destroyed in that final. So, for me, personally, I don't see the Carabao Cup as a major trophy. It would be nice to have it as a bit on the side. FA Cup was probably more prestige for me, but we've gone out of that. There's a chance still, you could say, in the Champions League. But are we really going to do anything in there? No, we're not. No, we're not going to do anything there, because we just know how to, when it all comes down to making things happen, we falter, we fail, we let it go again. So I don't have any hope in us. I don't have any belief in us. I think the next game that comes up, I don't even know what's going to happen. We're probably just going to get a draw in that, or we probably might end up losing that game. I don't have any hope. But when it comes to the predictions, we're going to find out. I will tell you what I think. But I don't have any hope. And if we lose that game, it's not something that I'm surprised by anymore. Because the football's gone backwards. We're playing like crap. Do you know what I mean? We're relying on this long ball technique that's getting us nowhere. Do you know what I mean? It used to do something at the start, but we're just relying on this one thing, like the Amari song. It's this one thing. No, it's bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Where is the football we were playing last year? Where is it gone? Do you know what I mean? But you want to just stick. And this is why I say we are really a one-man team now. I thought Odegaard was someone else that's going to be stepping up. But since anything, he's gone missing like the deserts missed the rain. I just look at it and I say, where is the next step? Do you know what I mean? Certain players need to leave this club. You know what I mean? Not good enough. Do you know what I mean? We don't have any guys that can come on and change a game and make things happen. We just have dross players, dead players. You know what I mean? We got rid of Smith Rowe. And who did we have to replace him? Vieira's gone out on loan. We didn't have anyone to replace him. If Odegaard gets injured again, we're fucked. Do you know what I mean? Because Bukayo Saka's out. Do you know what I mean? We're having to rely on Raheem Sterling now. Listen, he did what he did in his cameo appearance, but this guy hasn't showed up for the season. You know what I mean? Yeah, the little piece of football he's had, he hasn't showed up. So what do you expect me to say about him? Man, listen. The season's a write-off. It's done. Now, this January market, I expect to see us sign one player at least. So we need someone. We need someone. And if you ain't going to do it, then Mikel Arteta, this is really on you. You signed Kai Havertz. So I can't really go all full guns blazing. We know what he is. He's a donkey. Yeah? He's a donkey. But you signed this donkey. You know what I mean? You bought him here. So you're going to have to take responsibility for that. The fact that this guy's misfiring, the fact this guy had 3 chances and he kicked it over the bar, or he hit it wide. Let's move on, because if I keep going on, my channel will get cancelled here. Do you know what I mean? But anyways, let's move on. But congratulations to all the teams who did go through. Congratulations to Man United as well. They deserved it. They played the better football than we did, so they deserve to go through. It's as simple as that. They came here, they had a game plan. People might say they were negative, but they did what they had to do. Do you know what I mean? When we were negative, yeah, cool. You know, it is what it is. But that's unfortunately now the football we are playing now. We've gone backwards. I don't see us going fourth. It's not the flipping song where it's the Wu-Tang Clan back. We're going back. There's no fourth at this point in time. Where's the fourth? But yeah, let's move on to the Premier League and let's get on to these predictions. Because yeah, that's just wound me up again now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right, here we go. Games that's happening tomorrow, Wednesday, Matchday 21. Chelsea versus Bournemouth. I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. I think Chelsea will beat them 3-1. West Ham versus Fulham. West Ham now have Graham Potter in charge. Probably a good appointment for them. Probably would start be playing some good football now. Against Fulham, this could be a tight game for them. But I do see them trying to go all out here. I think they'll get a draw here, 1-1. Brentford versus Man City. I'm sorry, Brentford, I don't really give you a cat and house chance here. I think you would really put some pressure on them, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I see City winning this game, probably scraping it 2-1. Nottingham Forest versus Liverpool. Battle of the guys who used to run things back in the 80s and back in the days. This isn't Nottingham Forest's ground, but I think Liverpool will still win. It's probably going to be a tight one. I'm probably going to go for a 1-0 Liverpool win here. Newcastle versus Wolves. This one's a peaky one still. You know what I mean? It could go either way. Newcastle's one of them teams that can do dodgy things, but at St James's Park, they're usually quite good there. I think they'll probably scrape over the line here. Maybe a tight 2-1 for Newcastle. Everton versus Aston Villa. I'm going to go for a Villa win. 3-1 Aston Villa. Leicester City versus Crystal Palace. Oh, let's talk about David Moyes. He's back at Everton. That's mad. But it is what it is. This is madness. The merry-go-round here, isn't it? I didn't expect to see it, but David Moyes is back at Everton. I don't understand why. You fire him, you bring him back, you fire him, you bring him back. You buy one, you get one free, you buy one, you get one free. I don't understand it, but this is what it is. The Premier League circus merry-go-round. He has nudes on the Premier League. That's what I'm saying. He has nudes on. That's how a man keeps getting employed. After he gets fired, he gets another job. I don't understand it how, but hey, he's back in a job, isn't he? So, Leicester City versus Crystal Palace. I'm going to go for a Palace win. I think a tight one, though. 2-1 Palace. Arsenal, Tottenham, you know what I mean? It's at our ground, but does it really matter, to be honest? We have to answer back, but are we really going to answer back against Tottenham? They're a depleted team, but so are we. I'm going to go for a draw here, man. 1-1. Ipswich Town versus Brighton. Brighton. Yeah. This one's going to be a tight one, but I think Brighton will edge it 2-1. Man United versus Southampton. Man United after the obviously FA Cup win. I think they would be on a bit of a high. I see Man United winning this one. Probably very close score, to be honest. I don't think it'd be as big and out there as it is. 2-0 Man United. And that's it from my predictions. But what are you guys' predictions? You can put your comments below on that one or keep them to yourself. And the FA Cup as well. What are your thoughts, your reaction to your team? Did they qualify? Are you happy? Put your comments below on that one or keep them to yourself. That we're going to move forward now to just touch on Tyson Fury. He has announced his retirement. I really kind of don't buy it for a second, to be honest. I think if there's money that comes back into it, he's going to quickly get back out of retirement and jump back into the ring. People obviously wanted to say, him versus Anthony Joshua, but let's be honest, after his embarrassment against Usyk, he didn't win that fight. He's probably decided to call it a day, but I don't think it's the end. I think if there's a big payday, a big bumper, he's going to come back. It's just one of them things. So if it's actually true, then good retirement to him, innit? But it is what it is. So I don't buy it for a second. So yeah. Next one, Gareth Southgate. I didn't touch on this one, him getting a knighthood. Now, personally, I don't think Gareth Southgate is the man that should have got it. I don't understand why he got one for, to be honest, because what has he really done for? He got into a couple of semi-finals and then a final. What did he do? Did he win it? If he won it, I hear it, but he didn't win anything. So why has he got a knighthood? His football is dead. Let's be honest there. He played shocking football, but he got a knighthood just because he got into a final. Okay, but where's some of the managers who won stuff in the Premier League? How come they haven't got knighthoods and stuff? They just hand these things out like hotcakes, man. But anyways, that's it. And that's what I'm done, guys, on my thoughts on that. But what are your thoughts? Tyson Fury, Gareth Southgate. Put your comments below on that one or keep it to yourself. With that, we come to the end of the podcast. I'd like to big you guys up, first time listeners, seasoned listeners, big yourselves up for checking out this episode. Yes, I started on a whimper and I've been in the mood. My head's gone, completely gone. But thank you guys again for tuning into this episode. And we usually do here when we finish. Peace, love, and unity, have fun, and you're either all in or clear out.